We're not serious, man. We're not serious. Anyhow, Spurs complete the signing of Mathys Tel. Arsenal, you better have a mad thing lined up. I don't want to hear we tried. You don't know I love Tel. I'm gonna be shameless and say I don't rate him at all. I proper don't rate him, people. As you can see, unfortunately, on the screen, Spurs and Bayern Munich have agreed a 60 million euros fee for Matthias Tell. Now we'll get into the Ollie Watkins thing, but keep in mind 60 million euros, that's about 50 and some change, because there's been some interesting developments that have come out regarding Ollie Watkins. Tell is still, as it says here, Bayern Munich and Spurs have agreed a 60 million fee for Tell. The player is still undecided at the moment. Tell is still taking time before making a decision in the next few hours. Other clubs now have to quickly send their proposals in order to stand a chance. Spurs are leading the race and pushing. Credit to Spurs. Postecoglou's great with young players. I did say yesterday that, owing to the injuries that Spurs have and the lack of quality, you will get game time, whether it be up front or on the left-hand side. It's just a shame, I'm going to have to say now, there's a reason Bayern Munich sold you. I thought he was going to be coming North London, but not in this case. I mean, you've seen Petit, you've seen Willian, you've seen several players, people agree fees to move to Spurs and then quickly snake it and go elsewhere. So if you've got small hope, fair enough. But maybe the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds, the Arsenals have other plans, or they're lining up other stuff, people. Either way, before we carry on the Tell front, people, things have come out around Ollie Watkins. First thing I would say, people, is it's come out that we actually bidded 45 million, and secondly, there was a lot of criticisms about it being leaked that we made a bid yesterday, which was Wednesday. It's actually come out that we placed an offer on Monday. Nonetheless, Arsenal's first Ollie Watkins bid closer to 45 million as they weigh up second offer. Bid for the striker under half of Aston Villa's current valuation, with club frustrated at both the timing and the size of Arsenal's offer. Now, Aston Villa, I'm sure you've bidded for players before. Arsenal, I'm sure you've bidded for players before. And you lot listening, smash the like button. You're smart enough to know the first offer typically is never the one that's accepted, nor is that the one that a team goes for. That being said, though, putting my fan cap on, seeing other teams make movement this month, knowing the injuries and everything that we've got, we haven't got time to mess around. I don't know about anyone else. I admire that you've tried to bring in players, that you don't want to bring in players that you're not 100% convinced of. But if we get to a cup final, if there's any hope, or we get to the latter stages of the champs, or a must win in the Premier League, and the players on the pitch, and the players on the pitch aren't quite doing the job, I don't know about anybody else, people, but can Mikel Arteta look at his bench and go, we tried, warm up, you're coming on? I don't know, people. Nonetheless, Aston Villa remain adamant that they do not want to sell Ollie Watkins. As it emerged, Arsenal's opening offer was almost half the Midlands club would value him at. We all know John Duran's basically moved to the Middle East as well, which, again, I can't see Aston Villa losing both of their strikers, but, it's not impossible. But, it don't look like it's going to happen, is it? Arsenal are weighing up whether to test Aston Villa's resolve with a second offer. Telegraph Sport understands the opening bid that was immediately rejected was closer to 45 million than the 60 million that was originally reported. There was annoyance inside Villa Park at the timing of the bid. We bid it on Monday, it's come out, ahead of a big Champions League game against Celtic, and the size of the offer. Sources likened it to West Ham's 47 million bid for John Duran ahead of the Monaco game that was rejected out of hand. Neither Arsenal nor Villa would comment on the exact fee offered for Watkins, with Villa believing it was irrelevant given they do not want to sell the 29-year-old in the final days of the winter transfer window. Arsenal believed their bid represented fair market value and was not time to cause any problems. Well-placed insiders believe Aston Villa value Watkins at more than 80 million in the current market, even though they have not set an asking price or given Arsenal a figure to try to hit. Arsenal are considering whether or not to make a second bid, but the Premier League title chasers would have to increase it significantly. I hope that's no annoying alert, but as I was saying, would have to increase it significantly to stand any chance of changing Villa's stance. It's unclear whether Villa would be forced to consider an offer if Watkins expressed his desire to leave. He can express what he wants, If you're Aston Villa, you're going to just say, get your head down, get on with it. You're under contract for 3 years. I know you're a boyhood Arsenal fan, but you're not stupid. We just sold Duran. We're doing what we're doing in the champs and the league. If you want to leave and Arsenal are still interested in you, keep performing, banging in the goals, which you ain't done at recent, and you can do what you need to do in the summer, people. There's acknowledgement that Duran's impending move to Saudi Arabia for an initial 64 million fee plus for add-ons will make a successful move for Watkins even more difficult for Arsenal. So yeah, man, that's not what you want to hear, Arsenal fans. Moving away and moving on from that, people. Sammy Mokbel has spoken. Is there anything in relation to Mathys Tel? Apparently, the fact Spurs, Chelsea, United, Aston Villa, and Arsenal are all carrying varying degrees of interest in the hot shot ahead of next week deadline just shows how hot property is. He's a very good player. He's a very good player. You know, Spurs' victory will be Arsenal's, Villa's, United's, Chelsea's, all of our losses. I truly believe in his potential. I will never utter these words again if he signs for Spurs, but it is what it is. Sources close to this situation say Tel is waiting to see if Man United or Arsenal formalise their interest in his services before making a final decision on his destination. I'd rather him go United than Spurs. As things stand, Spurs and Chelsea have the firmest interest from Premier League clubs, but United, Villa or Arsenal are not completely ruling out an approach before the deadline. Hey, assistant Donny, Jason Ito, man, like this is how you go from being work experience to getting the job, bro. Go and do this thing, man. What's going on? It's hard to see Arsenal guaranteeing him regular minutes given the number of options they have out wide and desperate need for a world-class centre forward. Brother, you can get game time here, man. Stop. That's how I know where they're going from, because Sammy Mokbel, David Ornstein, they're clearly in with the club. Look at the language. They were interested, but he might not get minutes. And what did we? The language was very different this morning, and the language was very different in the video we did earlier. Yeah, it's an idiot thing, man. Congratulations to Spurs. It's an idiot thing. Yeah, you're not serious, man. Let's see what this article said. Again, we're skipping through the Ollie Watkins tosh people. We know Arsenal don't want to overpay, and it's unlikely they'll tempt Aston Villa to sell him, people. Is there anything on the tail front or anything? There's a feeling another deal may be possible, and they're working on it, but they also want RB Leipzig striker Sesko in the summer with the German club unwilling to do business in January. We keep hearing the same things. They are also in for Bayern Munich forward Tel with the French prospect keen to get regular game time. Arsenal are pulling out all the stops to make a deal happen, but face major competition from Man United and Chelsea. Spurs haven't been dropped here. They are still in for Norway wonder kid Nepan with the Rosenberg teenager set to the side with a host of clubs. So again, forgive me for sounding ignorant. I don't work for Arsenal. But 1 minute we're hearing Spurs are actually aggressive and agreed a fee for Tel. We're hearing we're half interested. Then Nepan Ute still trying to decide between Aston Villa, Girona and Arsenal. You know, Ollie Watkins, again, anything can happen if you overpay, but it doesn't look for a variety of reasons why that's going on. I don't want to hear we tried. You know, you can tell me about Isaac and Zubimendi and Sesko and this one and that one in the summer. I don't want to hear we tried, because we should have been doing these things in the summer. It's jarring, man. This is mate, forget it, people. It's the less said, the better. Apparently, the father of Nepan, who has I don't want to get into that next Odegaard stuff. Apparently, he's confirmed that his son has visited 3 clubs who are interested in him, and he's revealed that decision could be made by the weekend over his future. I don't blame you and your family for taking your time, but I mean, come on now. What's going on here? Like, what's going on here? He said the reason we did this is because there's been a lot of interest. We've had conversations with several clubs, both on the phone and via Teams. Now we thought it was the right time to go and visit the relevant clubs. Fair play, people. Fair play. Now, we've been linked to Zubimendi, but apparently Real Madrid have been made aware of what they need to do if they are to sign one of the best midfielders in Europe. Amid claims that Arsenal have agreed a deal for him, with a report revealing how much Los Blancos will have to pay for him as the Spanish and European giants make a massive decision. So this is just saying that we could be hijacked. A report in the English media early this month claimed that Arsenal were confident of signing Zubimendi in the summer of 2025. Reports in Spain are now reporting that Real Madrid are keen on Zubimendi as well and could make a bid for him at the end of the season. I bet if I type in Xabi Alonso's name, there must be some element of Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid rumours kicking again. Arsenal have been tipped to make a move for Botafogo striker Igor Jesus before the transfer window ends. Now, I will never not give somebody a chance for Arsenal Football Club, but at 23 years of age, for you to still be playing in Brazil and excluding Brazil playing in the UAE, if you can play football, you can play football, but it don't give me any real confidence, people. This time last year, he was in the United Arab Emirates, and he wasn't even a household name in his own home. Botafogo bought him on a free in July, and by October, he was Brazil's first choice centre forward. Fair enough if you're playing for Brazil at international level. He looks like the complete package, a very, very promising player indeed. We understand that he personally rejected a bid from Nottingham Forest at the weekend, which was said to be 30 million euros. It seems he said no to Forest, but my big question, would he say no to Arsenal? He would seem to fit their requirements. He's an all-round striker. He's strong, he's quick, he's mobile, he can hold the ball up, he can run into the channels. What about if he can score goals? because couple man already can do that at Arsenal. If there were to be a bid from Arsenal, he would say no to that. So there ain't been no bid. It's just bare foreplay, no penetration. We've gone over Sesko, we've gone over Tel, but allegedly Arsenal are ready to make a move for Mathys Tel. Again, you need to move. Arsenal have been told that Osimhen has 2 release clauses. We've heard this before. He has a winter release clause and one in the summer. Apparently, he has a 90 million euros release clause active in January, which is now, and he'll be available for 75 million euros in the summer. And he's currently obviously at Galatasaray on loan from Napoli. Joel Hatter was shut down speculation about a move away from Ajax after he was spotted at Liverpool's game. He said he was there on request from Gravenberch, who obviously invited him. People, as you know, been linked with Real Madrid, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and everybody in Europe who's half decent. Man United should be joining that race, especially if they're going to continue to play free at the back. The man's going to have a great future. Apparently, they want 30 million euros. Brother, get that done, bro. Get that done. Get that done. Get that. Get Zubimendi, get Tel. Put the building blocks in place for Sesko, etc. I know it's easy for me as an armchair expert to say these things, but I'm seeing clubs make serious move. More in January. Clubs are making movements. Even clubs are really trying. Like, we've had one bid rejected for Watkins. Fans will lap that up in it, but it is what it is in that regards. Away from that, apparently David Raya will be fit to face Manchester City. I know Mikel Arteta came out and said he was injured. We're definitely going to need you, David Raya. Brendan Rodgers confirmed earlier this week that Tierney will be moving back to Celtic in the summer. Gyökeres allegedly has been earmarked as Arsenal's perfect signing, says the Daily Star. So activate Donny's release clause. I did a video on Tel, and I can already envision the troll comments on my YouTube, but you know, engagement and whatnot. Bakayoko was once linked with Arsenal. Allegedly, at least 2 Premier League clubs plan to go all in for Bakayoko ahead of the upcoming deadline. You also have a great game and send 2 Liverpool players to the shop, but are PSV gonna budge with it being ever closer to the end of the deadline? You know, the FA had to get their lick back in some capacity in it. The FA say the club allegedly failed to ensure that its players did not behave in an improper manner. Lewis Skelly's red card has been overturned, but Arsenal have been charged by the FA over improper conduct. I find this funny, not just for Arsenal, but anyone, you know. What do you expect them to do when there's been injustice? Not like it's a game of football. Like, again, the referees and these nerds that control the game, they've never played the game. And this doesn't go, this, I would say the same. I would say the same even if that happened with Spurs. What is going on? I don't know, man, but I'm not even going to get vexed at this, people. I'm more peed off that Arsenal ain't signed anyone. But nonetheless, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.
You always